All right, well, I mentioned a few moments ago, moving on here, that we're going to be at IMTS next week, Dirk and I and some of our team, and as you can well imagine, I think, that's only one of a few shows that we go to regularly. Another comes in midsummer every year when Dirk and I, or usually both of us actually, attend the Coordinate Metrology Society Conference, CMSC. Quality Digest has been proud to function as the CMSC's media partner since 2005 now.
I know, it's been a long time.
And 13 years successfully we've worked with them. Really, really great group of folks. Well, CMSC 2018 took place in Reno back in late July, and while we were there, Dirk and I shot several interviews for use in our monthly CMS Corner feature, one of which we're going to be bringing you right now. In this episode of CMS Corner, we examine one of the Society's most important recent achievements and undertakings. This is the Precision Path Consortium for Large-Scale Manufacturing. Now, this is a partnership between industry and academia to solve universal technological challenges faced by manufacturers of high-precision parts and assemblies. So I spoke with Ron Hicks of Automated Precision, Inc., who is also the CMS chair of the Precision Path Consortium, along with Ed Morse. And Ed is a professor of mechanical engineering at UNC Charlotte, which are partnering very closely, UNC Charlotte, with the CMSC on this initiative. The guys told me more about the consortium and their latest technology roadmap, which has just recently been released. So let's take a look and have a listen at that interview. So let's take a look at that now. Hey, I'm here with Ron Hicks of API, and I'm also here with Ed Morse of UNC Charlotte, and we're talking here at CMSC about the Precision Path Consortium, one of the big initiatives of CMSC here in the last, I guess about 2 or 3 years. Ron, I want to start with you about this. So tell me, if you could, a little bit about the Precision Path Consortium, how it started, and what it's all about.
Well, the Precision Path Consortium is basically made up of a subcommittee of the CMS, the Coordinate Metrology Society, industry, and academia. And we basically got together a panel of experts that can basically help us develop a roadmap to tell us exactly where we are with the state of three-dimensional metrology.
And involving not only industry, but academia as well, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
So that is where we bring Ed into this as well. Now, Ed, you're with UNC Charlotte.
That's correct.
And you were brought in on the academia side of this. So how did you guys get involved in the Precision Path Consortium?
Well, being in academia, we get a lot of requests for proposals for different grants, and there was a grant program through NIST administered by the National Manufacturing Office that was looking for new consortia to start up. And our expertise is in dimensional metrology, and we didn't want to go alone. The whole idea of this particular program was to bring academia and industry together, and who knows more about dimensional metrology than CMS? So it seemed like a natural fit, and that's how we got started.
Right, so you guys kind of were brought in that way, and maybe you can give our audience who may not be aware a little bit kind of the detail about what exactly, when you say precision measurement, precision manufacturing, what does that really mean?
Well, we usually talk about precision measurements in terms of ratios. So if you're measuring something that's 10 meters long, maybe 10 micrometers would be extreme precision, 100 micrometers, sort of 10,000 times would be good precision. And we thought that the best area for us to focus in with CMS was large-scale metrology. So people that build chips, people that build planes, because that's an area that the US really excels in, and we're not talking about small parts, and this is the perfect venue to do the large-scale manufacturing. And I just want to emphasize that although we're about metrology, our real focus is supportive manufacturing, that's where the money comes from, and we don't take measurements because we enjoy it. We do enjoy it, but we do it to get information to support manufacturing.
Right, exactly. Now, Ron, you're the chair on the CMS side, and the Coordinate Metrology Society side for this organization. So you're one of the prime movers to really begin to look at this and say, well, we need this in industry. We need to work with academia as well. So what was kind of the prime mover from your perspective about why this was necessary?
Well, from the CMS side, I thought it was very important to grasp this because we want want to continue to move forward in our industry. We want to bring on new users of equipment. We want to make sure that manufacturers who use this type of equipment are the best in the world. So that's why we really want to make this emphasis, understand where we are today with our roadmap, and basically build a path for our future.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the roadmap. So tell me about that, what that is, what it's intended to do.
Yeah, the roadmap is basically something for instance, for you to give to a company, basically, so they understand exactly where we are here in the United States with large-scale portable metrology. And to be able to understand maybe what the best tool is for my project, or what the various tools are, where to get those tools, how do you best use these tools, what the people need to be that would operate them, all that. So it's basically what to expect in terms of accuracy or length of time it takes to do things. So,
right, that's critically important. Obviously, that's what this whole show is really all about. Right. You know, Ed, it strikes me one of the things that the show is also about, we talk about a lot, is bringing that next generation of people into the industry. Yeah, I think it's really important that we bring those people in. So, from your perspective, you've been in academia for a while, you've been an instructor, you've worked with these people. What are these people looking for that want to do this as a career, and what are the opportunities that they may get in industry after they go through a program like you offer?
Well, I think that there is a real need for young engineers with an interest and an understanding of the importance of metrology. And while that's true of many vocations, it's particularly true of metrology because we don't always do a good job advertising what we do and why it's important. And almost everyone here will tell you a story of how they got involved in metrology, and it was not, well, when I was 6, I saw this and I wanted to be a metrologist. It's usually, well, they didn't have someone, so they made me do it.
But these are great careers.
Oh, absolutely, and there's great demand for people who have even a rudimentary understanding of metrology. And we find that with our undergraduate students, just talking to them about GD&T and exposing them a little bit to measurements and uncertainty gives them a real leg up in getting a job. And in our graduate students, that they tend to get whisked away by whatever project they were working on, and they almost always are employed before they're done with their dissertation, which can be a problem sometimes, as you might imagine.
Well, I mean, you look around, I mean, at this show, there's so much great equipment here, and a lot of the equipment that's here is also at educational facilities where people can really work hands-on this equipment. And what do they get when they have a chance to really do that, as opposed to walking into a career later and not knowing how to use that stuff?
I think it really gives them a good head start, but to be honest, my experience is mostly anecdotal. So we have those few students who got interested in it when they were young, and boy did they take off. But it's hard for me to say how scalable that is. What's wonderful is at a university level, there's certain things we do that are more researchy that give the students a really good opportunity, but also there are a lot of community colleges and four-year institutions that are doing great work. The manufacturers are sharing their equipment and exposing these kids to the technology. So I think we're on the right track. One of the things we spend a lot of time talking about in our Precision Path meetings is where are these people coming from and what trajectory do they have to be on to be successful.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Well, Ron, you know, we mentioned some of the meetings. There's been a lot of meetings. I know a lot of these that people have attended, and at this show in particular, I know we're doing some meetings as well. So what has happened just in the last year, especially maybe here this week? What's been going on and changing with the PPC? Well,
we've brought in experts in the field, and we've been polling these people, asking them what they know about the industry, the metrology field, how to apply, and what's important, right? We've also polled users in the industry. For instance, CMS, I think we polled more than 200 industry experts on exactly what kinds of equipment, methodologies they use, that type of thing. And a lot of this was input for our roadmap to understand where we were right now.
And what if you can tell us a little bit more? I mean, what were some of the information, the data points that you gathered from that, and how was it kind of guiding the Precision Path Consortium going forward?
Well, basically in terms of what my industry is, whether I'm in shipbuilding or automotive or aerospace, what types of equipment would you use, three-dimensional equipment would you use in your industry? For instance, do I use laser trackers or structured light scanners or photogrammetry or any of these types of tools? How they're used, what's your reliance on them, how accurate are they, what needs to improve, what can we do to move forward? Is it a little bit hard to use, or maybe we need more operator training? Maybe we need systems from our manufacturers that are easy to use. So those are the types of things that we really want to know and understand.
Right, and in the couple of minutes we have left, what do you guys see as the future of this consortium? I mean, where do we go from here? And Ed, we'll start with you.
Well, the two prime deliverables when we received the grant from NIST were to produce a roadmap and also to develop a sustainable consortium. And we feel that we've been successful. We're having a soft launch of the roadmap tomorrow in a meeting of our experts. And the consortium has really been brought into CMS and is a standing committee within CMS. So we feel that has worked well. And I think in the future, we're going to have the freedom to look at improving the roadmap, at extending certain sections where our picture might be a year old already, and things might be changing more quickly than we thought.
Mm-hmm. And Ron, what do you see in the next year or two from this organization?
Well, one of the projects that we've talked about that I'm really pushing is basically a survey of the industry or a survey of the profession. There's really no guidelines out there for individuals who want to work in this field, or even for employers, for instance, as to get a baseline of what these people do as a job description, how much money can you make in this type of field, and being able to understand exactly if this is a career path that I want to go through. So we really need to understand what the industry is. So.
Well, good stuff, guys. Thank you for doing that. Really, the organization, Coordinated Metrology Society, does a great job with these kind of initiatives, and this is a really good one. So thank you guys both for doing that. Ron Hicks and Ed Morse, thanks for joining us
here. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Well, there you have it.
That's such a great show.
That's a good show.
It's a good show. Yeah.
That's a very different show from IMTS.
Oh, yeah, very different from IMTS. It's about that size compared to IMTS.
But it's great, and great work there. Kudos to Ron and to Ed and the rest of the Precision Path Consortium. A lot of people have put a lot of work into that. Belinda Jones, a lot of people really put a lot of heart and soul into that over the course of the last couple of years, and they just came out with a roadmap, as I mentioned. They mentioned there, Ed and Ron. That's out now, and it kind of gives you an overview of their findings and what they're learning about what's going on here with large-scale manufacturing. And again, this academia and industry collaborations, we're seeing more and more of this. It's really important because they have the knowledge base and they have the practical information as well as the book learning that helps you pull all that together.
I mean, it's interesting when you think about it. I mean, talking about CMS and CMSC, is that you've got this really pretty little organization. I mean, 400, 500 people show up for the show. Yeah. It's got a
executive committee,
10
people, dozen people.
And yet you've got this Precision Path Consortium that's coming out of that, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And also you've got
the
this
certification program,
the first certification program for large volume 3D metrologists, like. That never existed for as long as it's been around.
I know.
And now it's moving over into CMMs, CMM certification. So,
CMMs.
Yeah, CMS guys do great stuff.
They do great work. And speaking of the certification, we have one more CMS corner that we came out from that show with Randy Groover.
Right.
We're going to talk about the certification program. He's been very active in that.
Right,
So that'll be next month, so look out for that one.